Are you sure?
Yes.
You're totally sure?
100%.
That's good thing I already started. I don't know why we keep getting these right errors. I don't get it. Critique-Opolis is back. We got a new movie. It's not really new, but this was Luis's pick. The teachers.
Well, actually, kind of it is a new.
When was it? Last year?
Mm-hmm.
German, which I got to tell you, I was like, when you pulled it up, I'm like, why are you picking this? I didn't think you liked subtitles.
Oh, I like subtitles. I learned to like subtitles. I love subtitles. I just, and I didn't pick it because it was German. That didn't have anything to do with it. It just happened to be. It came up as a suggested something else I would like somewhere because I watched something else. And I was like, oh, the teacher's lounge and being in education.
All right, so we're going to get into that in a second, but I think I told you last time. I did a recording without giving you guys a recipe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we're going to hit that first for the one listener that's out there that I know tunes in for these recipes. Mm-hmm. We're going to lead off with that. And this one is a honey mustard vinaigrette. I have not tried this, but I'm looking at all the ingredients, and I think it'd be a banger. For any salad, especially if you're trying to adhere to the Mediterranean diet. Short list of ingredients: 2 tablespoons of course, extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon honey, mine preferably, at jheyhoney on Instagram or heyhoney.biz. Let's see what else. 1 tablespoon Dijon mustard. Whole grain mustard works. It doesn't matter. Just find the one you like. Garlic clove minced. Otherwise, it's going to be big chunks of it, and it's going to mess with the flavor. So chop it up really, really, or you can buy it minced. And salt and pepper to taste. It's a real quick and dirty recipe. So you're going to whisk together the olive oil, vinegar, honey, mustard, all the stuff. When mixed, you're going to pour the dressing over your salad. I really don't need to read this. You're just mixing all of those things together. The real recipe is in the volume you use. So start out with that. That'll be enough to get you through 1 or 2 salads. And for the recipe that I found here, it says wildflower honey is the easiest to use, but you can definitely use others also. Sunflower would work really well with this. So would heather honey if you can get your hands on it. It's got heather has a little bit more of a bite to it. It's a little bit harder to come by. And it's more of an orange tint. So if you're looking for a particular color, which I know this sounds odd, but there are some people who make mixes and recipes, and color is a component as far as how they want it to look before they serve it. So if you're just going to use a clover and wildflower, it's going to come out yellow. If you use one of the more sharper honeys like heather or sunflower, it's going to have more of an orange tint to it. That's it.
I could do that.
Yeah, well, I know you could. I'll be looking for a salad tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, there's another movie we could talk about, Maxine. We'll get back to this. I want to see it, but I'll tell you, it's a continuation. It's a part 3 in a trilogy of slasher films that came out kind of back to, it's more thriller, not so much slasher, but X was the first one. Mm-hmm. Was those kids who were out in a field in a semi-abandoned farmhouse next to an inhabited farmhouse, and they were filming like a porn slasher movie, but there was actually murders happening. Oh. And then Pearl was part 2, but I never saw that. And this Maxine character, she's the title character for part 3, but she was in all of them. And I tripped across this trailer yesterday, which is when I saw that Scarlett Johansson new movie.
Okay.
It looks like it could be kind of an eye gripper. I'll show you the trailer later, but sorry, Teacher's Lounge.
Teacher's Lounge. Okay. Again, a German movie, a movie from Germany.
Usually what that means.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. I don't recognize any of the actors, but I don't know anything about German actors.
I didn't recognize any of the actors either. I was just trying to pull up.
I had you listen to a episode of Christina Pajitsky's Where Your Mom's At podcast because she had on a comedian yesterday that lived in Germany and does his, he's an American from the South, but lives in Germany, got married to a German girl. And his act now is predominantly about how Germans behave, which is like, American comedians make fun of the way Americans behave, and it's still funny. So it's still, that format still lands over there. Carla Nowak is the name of the character.
The main character.
Yeah, and she starts getting, you should do this.
Go ahead.
Would you not like talking? This was your pick.
You started, so
all right,
you can continue. I would say the same things.
We're going to go on because there's all these, after we see a movie, it takes about a day, at least for me, to realize all the little plot points.
Oh yeah, maybe more than a day, but we're just doing a day this time.
She notices there's some thefts going on in the school that she worked at. I think she's a new teacher.
Yeah, I think so. She hasn't even been there a whole year.
And she's Polish, right?
Mm-hmm.
They touch on that. And at one point, she kind of lays like a little bit of a mousetrap. She pulls out some cash, puts it in her wallet, and then puts the wallet in her coat. And while she's in the teacher's lounge, she turns on her laptop and records not the lounge, but just her coat.
Her coat sitting on the back of a chair.
Yeah.
With the money in the pocket.
Right. And she goes and teaches class, and when she comes back, she's been ripped off.
Yep.
And she goes through her laptop, and she sees the sleeve or the shoulder arm of someone who put their hands in her jacket, and it's a very particular pattern. Go ahead.
I was just going to say she's watching the video that she recorded, and she sees the sleeve of a coworker's blouse that they're wearing that day.
And I think we're getting very granular, right up front, but I told you this while we were watching. I was kind of getting frustrated because it was very true to how people behave now. Mm-hmm. She confronted the coworker, and the coworker, I'm certain that, at least in the narrative that we watched, she did it. She had access. She was very close, and she was wearing the shirt.
The lady that was suspected from the computer footage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she has this act of I don't know what you're talking about. And then when the investigation goes even further. No, but before she even takes it into the principal, before Carla even takes it into the principal, she's like, I saw the shirt, and she blows up. She really erupts, and she's like, a lot of people have this shirt. And I'm like, okay, that might be true, but not today.
Yeah.
Who have access to the teacher's lounge.
Right.
You were the only person who had that shirt in that room connected to the office. That's it.
Yeah, and the lady who's suspected of the theft wearing the said the blouse, she she works, like you said, she's like a secretary or something. So she is in the office right next door to the teacher's lounge all the time. And when Carla made the video, she left to go teach class, and nobody was in the teacher's lounge. It wasn't like the morning or a lunchtime staff thing. It was there was no one in that room.
I think what bothered me is that she takes it into the principal when this woman denies it, And I don't know how they handle it in any particular American school, considering what you're seeing on social media, but I thought they were pretty diplomatic about it. She's like, look, if you took it, give it back, and we can talk about like what's going on with you that you would do this. But the principal right into, we have like an ethics thing here. You videotape somebody, and Carla she didn't really stand up for herself. She's like, I didn't videotape the room. I videotaped my coat.
Mm-hmm. Literally, that was all that was in the frame in the movie.
And it's just funny how, like, on a social level, you're watching how I think the movie was great in that it was a great study for how people. It's like they think outside of the issues.
Mm-hmm. That thought crossed my mind while we were watching it.
Yeah, it's like you're conflict. The issue is somebody stole from all the teachers' privacy was violated. Whoa. No. And it's funny because the principal she has to think about the whole school. And I think that responsibility conflates with, like, look, the only reason you know about this is because somebody was stolen from. And now you're going to take all these other issues that pertain to people that are not part of the problem.
Right, are not part of the problem.
And you're going to apply it to the situation. Like, we can't release this to the police because anyone who might have walked behind the chair that had the code on it, could have been like, people are videotaped all the time.
I'm rolling my eyes because that's exactly what I thought too. There was nothing to do with the situation at hand.
The situation was a teacher was stolen from, and she has proof of who did it.
And it literally involves two people. It involves the person that money was stolen from, and the person who did the stealing.
And she wasn't trying to get her fired. She's like, look, I know you did this. I have proof that you did this. Give me my money back. Mm-hmm. And this woman she flies into a rage. She threatens a suit and then just departs. And the rest of the movie is this woman who gets busted is like, she has a child in Carla's class. Mm-hmm. Do you have the cast list up?
I can get it very quickly.
I couldn't get to it.
Well, while we're getting it real quick, if I could make a side note.
Yeah.
I feel like a few minutes ago we should have said spoiler alert, because if you watch a trailer to this movie, that's not what you get from the trailer. At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
And if you watch the movie, we've sort of given a little bit of it away.
You know what? I mean, like, yeah, but that's very early.
Okay.
Maybe. All right, for anyone who's listening, just know if we're going to be talking about movies, you're going to get big chunks of the plot.
I just...
valid point, but I think that the trailer tried to put a spotlight on, there was all kinds of shenanigans going on in the school, and no one could really figure out where it was coming from. But as you watch the story, you're like, all right, this was kind of the cornerstone for what launched all the problems. Mm-hmm. The woman who gets in trouble, she has a kid in Carla's class, and he's clearly affected by this because mom doesn't tell him initially why she was yelling and left work. Mm-hmm. And he develops, he just gets, he starts feeling ostracized because the kids do what kids do. They start creating rumors and stories about what exactly transpired, and they start forming these little teams against one another. They gang up on this kid, and he starts to feel alienated, and Carla's just made nuts by, she's trying to keep the peace. She had no intention for it to blow up, and get up as big as it did. And you can't help but feel for her. She ultimately was the person who was wronged, and this backlash is just kind of it's like a wave that comes back and hits her. She has parent-teacher conferences, and somebody brings it up, And like she's really diplomatic about it. It's like this is an internal issue. It has nothing to do with the kids. And these parents, I can only imagine how you see this as a teacher, but like, I guess anything involving their kids, of course, a parent's going to be engaged in it. But she's trying to do the diplomatic thing and say it doesn't involve the kids. I think we've figured out who the perpetrator is, but we have to take diplomatic steps around this. We're not going to call anybody out. Mm-hmm. We're not in the.
Well, it's like it's a staff. It's not a staff. It's a staff issue. It's not. It doesn't have, like you said, it doesn't have anything to do with the class. And if she's at parent-teacher conferences or curriculum night with the parents, they should be talking about her classroom and her kids, and the kids. But all the parents.
The parents kind of like manipulate the situation. Like my son or daughter's like grumbling about this at home, and it's like it's going to affect her schoolwork. And like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Well, you're just trying to like shoehorn your way into the problem.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And then the woman who got caught shows up to like drop a bomb on the discussion and say, "Oh yeah, this woman Carla she's a bad influence. She makes accusations without proof." And like Carla gets all like she's trying to play in the middle, and she gets squashed because she can't respond.
Right, she doesn't know what to say or how to handle it because she's trying, and they're not.
Like, do you want me to
backing
call you out?
Down? They're just. We want more information. We want more information.
Yeah, and then like, I think I told you when we were watching this, like I could never be a teacher because I'd call her out right there. I'm like, I'll tell the whole class exactly what happened and the proof I have on video for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're gonna push me if you're gonna paint me into a corner, I'll show everybody what happened.
Yeah, that's another thing we talked about when we were watching it too. Is Carla never defends herself. She never says anything about anything. She just lets all of this like happen to her, and people say things and make things up, and she doesn't
plant her like. She doesn't put her foot down and say this is incorrect.
Yeah, she never, not even once. Even her facial expression, she just takes it.
And then she has a bit of a panic attack, like an anxiety attack over it. I thought this was funny because she breathed into a plastic bag, and they always say you're supposed to breathe into a paper bag.
I thought it was very interesting, that whole situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's all carbon dioxide.
I was really curious about that too.
Yourself.
Okay.
There's something that happens with a paper bag.
Yeah.
But, and the thing there's a scene where the boy in her class, who's the son of the woman who gets accused, he becomes very antagonistic to Carla. Mm-hmm. And he makes like veiled threats. And then, you can tell that it's messing with her psychologically. And then she sees one teacher walk by who has this same blouse as the woman who was accused. Mm-hmm. And then she follows her down the hall. And next thing you know, the entire student body is wearing this shirt. Mm-hmm. And is this in her mind? Or are these kids like, did they all like get together to like mess with her? And the big chunk of the movie is just this. I guess this is why I like talking about it, because it's almost like you can't help but think Carla's when you're watching her for the first time with her class, she's engaged. She gives a shit about what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And she's not a bad teacher.
No.
She's not even firm but fair. She's like, she catches kids doing things they shouldn't. Mm-hmm. She's like, okay, we got to report this to your mom and dad. And when one kid, who gets caught smoking is like, I'm begging you, please don't do that. And she relents. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing, is she's not like this
super hardcore and harsh.
Yeah, it's like
she's
Germans they're painted to be, well, not painted, but I mean that's kind of a characteristic of Germans, is that they're rule followers. Mm-hmm. Like Christina was taught, like our Christina Pazitsky's podcast. She illustrated that Germans are rule followers. They love rule, and when you deviate from rules, they just lose their mind.
They lose, yeah.
I didn't mean to roll over you there, but like,
That's okay.
that's the biggest problem I had with this movie is this woman, if she's wronged, she tries to do right by like going through the appropriate channels, and then everybody starts talking shit about her. And she doesn't drop the hammer and say, like, even go to the principal and say, you are going to deal with this right now. It's affecting my work.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do it.
No.
And that's, I think, if anything, I took away from this movie. It's like, you have to stand up for yourself. You must.
Because no one else is going to.
Like, I've had things in my own life where I've been accused of things. And, like, I just wanted the problem to go away, so I'd shrink from it. And now, as I approach 50, like,
You see it different.
I mix it up with people. I'll, like, if somebody says something to me I don't like, and I think I told you when I had that altercation with my dad, when we made up later, he's like, you got a rage thing going on. I'm like, God damn it, you have a rage thing going on. I respond this way because I learned, like, it's specifically with you. But even when I interact with customers, how many times have I told you, like, there are hundreds of wonderful interactions, and I get that one guy who says something, or lady who just says something off color and pushes my buttons, and then, like, I don't think I ever get profane with anybody, but I'll let them have it. I'll be like, you're in the wrong, and if you're going to be rude, you're going to leave right now. And when I'm watching Carla, just even the other teachers who gang up on her, like, why didn't you do it this way? And, like, this affects us. It's like, you guys weren't affected at all. I'm the one who was stolen from.
Right.
And it's almost like the other teachers just manufacture problems that don't exist and dump it on her.
Yeah. Which reminds me, the one teacher with the blonde teacher with the curly hair.
Yeah.
I thought in the beginning of the movie that they were friends.
Yeah.
And then maybe they weren't ever friends.
It was a very German thing, is that like she talked in a very, very even tone, but she was very kind of.
She wasn't nice to her. She wasn't friendly.
Yeah, like, what's the word? It's not condescending, but like combative and kind of a. Where somebody, like, where people, like, give you advice or tell you maybe you should have approached something differently when you didn't ask for the advice.
Yeah.
It's that kind of relationship. But she says it with a smile on her face, and you're like, I am going to slap you so hard your hair's going to straighten.
And she's siding with with another staff member that Carla never got along with or liked. They always had a problem, and now this, and anyway, it's
like, you're talking
like,
about the bigger guy.
Yeah, and it's it's like Carla against everybody else. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, that, like, I'm watching this, and it's a narrative, right? So it would have been interesting. This is a very German movie. I shouldn't say very German, but, like, for U.S. audiences who are watching this, I know that I'm not the only person who would watch this and be like, why are you not standing up for yourself? Why are you not, like, forming alliances? And we look for a resolution. And even the end of this movie, I think I told you, I'm like, I wouldn't call it a trigger ending, but, like, you're looking for resolution, and that doesn't. I don't want to give anything away, but it's not what you're. Like,
it's not the conclusion or the ending that I would have thought.
I think the thing, like, I was waiting for some kind of a twist.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel any twist. And I'm like, you know what? She was in the right. She was totally in the right, and she didn't stand up for herself, and she just gets mowed over by these people.
By everybody.
And even, like, when she speaks, she has that other teacher who's of her ethnicity, which we think is Polish,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
starts talking
Yep.
to her, and she says, German, please. Like, and it's almost like this undertone of like she's embarrassed to be Polish.
Yeah, kind of. That was a weird interaction / scene where she said that. I didn't really understand that.
I mean, this, it's not the late 1930s. It's not like you have to cover up being Polish.
No.
And you know what the other thing was when she saw somebody take money out of the piggy bank? We talked about this a little.
We did.
And it wasn't the person who was accused.
It was not. No, it was someone else.
It makes you, and like, we don't even fully identify who that is, but it's not.
Yeah, it just was something that someone was doing.
And it just makes you wonder, is like this entire staff corrupt? Or
Yeah.
Is no one being paid enough or
Right,
what?
Right.
That's my biggest, I don't want to call it a gripe, but like, I wanted to see a scene where she just went into the principal or the headmaster and like, we spend so much time talking about this is being investigated and nothing's really being done. And in the interim, Carla's career is suffering and she's losing control of the class and this kid's getting expelled. And I think, didn't I ask you like right afterwards, I'm like, is this the kind of stuff that you deal with on a day-to-day basis? Because this sounds maddening.
It definitely, this movie was, and the things that were happening in this movie, but it doesn't happen for me like that in real life. First of all, I've never been in a job with a teacher's lounge, so. Yeah,
but like you'd said, you'd had other jobs that were closer to this than what you do now, and
yeah.
I think that's the delicate dance, especially in 2024 for teachers who are placed in charge of people's kids, and I'll just like the social nonsense that's floating around right now. It's like an infection. It gets in people's heads, and they think they have to behave a certain way because that's how people are behaving right now, instead of just staying grounded and having fundamental, just base values. They respond to the social
expectations.
Yeah, that are out there. Like, well, we don't use harsh language, but why not? Sometimes you need to be direct and abrupt and blunt, and it doesn't feel good. It's not supposed to feel good. It's supposed to put a highlighter on what's not going wrong or what's going wrong. And that's just out in the real world. But like this movie was, once it ended, I'm like, I could never do that job. I'd last not even a week.
Well, I think with teaching, there's so many layers. There's you in your classroom and your kids, and then there's the staff that you work with and the parents, and there's just a lot of, it could all be problematic. Some of it could be problematic, some of it could be easy. Like, every day is different.
I'm trying to find more about this cast last night. I don't see nothing works today.
It's just technology.
It gives us a synopsis, but I don't see anything about the editorial list. I don't see anything about the cast.
Yeah, there's not a lot about this movie.
Oh, here we go. Liani Benesh. Is that it? Liani Benesh?
That's what yeah.
And Thomas Liebenwerda was the character's name of the big teacher who
Okay.
just had, and like it was, what's funny is the way he gave her shit was just, he was questioning her on things that were not issues. Mm-hmm. He was like, well, what if this happens?
Yeah.
And this could be a problem. Like, it's not a problem right now. We have a different issue. That was Michael Clammer. And the accused, Leva LeBeau. These are all German actors who all did a great job, but in the West, we don't see them in a lot of Western productions. At least, I don't think I've seen.
I didn't recognize or know any of them.
Leone was in, I don't know, White Ribbon, Teacher's Lounge, Babylon Berlin. Yeah, this is all German product. Tatort. Never heard of any of them.
She was in Inglourious Bastards. Isn't that a movie from us?
Oh, look at that. Who was she in? I gotta find that.
I don't know. I don't know that movie. I mean, I know of it, but I've not seen it.
I'm trying to get to, does it have she was in Howard's End? Wow. She's been in a bunch of stuff.
Howard's End, like the Howard's End? Like
the TV show. She was in one episode just for, like, flash in the pan.
I will say she did look a little familiar, if anyone.
What's funny is, like, it looks like she's been doing this for a while. Mm-hmm. Where is, under Inglourious Bastards, what's it say her role was?
I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Sorry. It's taking me a little bit. Okay, let's see. Sorry for the delay.
I can't find.
She must. Miriam Dreyfus. Do you know who that?
Dreyfus. Oh, she was. Wait a minute. That's her?
Do you know who that is?
She's. I don't know if that was the mother or the daughter who escaped Hans Landa at the beginning. At the beginning of Inglourious Bastards, the SS kind of raids genteelly a French dairy farm, and the family is hiding a family of Jews under their floorboards.
Okay.
And one of them escapes, and it might have been her.
Oh, okay.
Or it's the mother.
Okay.
Who didn't make it. But I think, no, maybe it's not her. I'm like, let me see what you're looking at. And this is a little out of sorts for us, but
there are a lot of. I've never seen this movie. There are a lot of like big names in this movie.
Yeah, we can't possibly know everybody, but maybe that.
Leah Seydoux is in this movie. Seydoux. How do you say that last name?
Seydoux. In Teacher's Lounge?
Inglourious Bastards.
What year is that?
2009, it said. Oh, so this is already what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'm trying to go backwards to find it, but...
So this is the cast list of Inglourious Bastards, and that's her picture. But she's down a lot far. She's down far.
No, Miriam is Ava LeBeau. Ava, the woman who gets accused. I'm talking about...
Sorry, I completely don't know what you're asking then.
No, our main character...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is Leonie Benesh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what has she? I don't know.
Yeah, you got me all messed up. Before we do this, you got to stop drinking.
Okay.
Jesus.
On a Tuesday night.
Or lay off the Coke or something.
Any days.
Ava Miriam Dreyfus. I don't remember who that is. It must have been the wife. It was the wife of the French farmer.
Okay.
So she wasn't one of the Jews who was shot. She was the Dreyfus was the dairy farmer, and that must have been the wife or one of the kids.
Okay.
And you never saw it, so it doesn't make a difference.
Nope. So sorry.
Who else have we covered? I gotta tell you, watching I don't have a problem with foreign movies, but you have to stay engrossed on another level as you read through all the dialogue, especially with the Germans or the French when they get angry. They I want to say that the Americans don't get chatty, but they especially they'll rifle off they'll machine gun off some dialogue. So you have to read through it, process it, and then move on to the next scene. So you can only really feel the emotion of the movie after everything's over. After you've absorbed everything, then you're sitting there, 3 hours later, and you're like, why didn't she stand up for herself?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of other movies that were. Do you recognize anything about the director? What else did he do? Who was that? Usually we make notes before we do this, but we're still having problems with the internet in here. And
the director has the same birthday as me.
Whoops. Can you give me anything relevant about his career? Anything at all? Is that...
We're almost the same age.
What have you done with your life?
Seriously.
What's his name?
His name is, I cannot pronounce.
Ilker Catak?
Sure, that's good.
I'm going to say Ilker Catak.
Okay.
Teacher's Lounge, also responsible for I Was, I Am, I Will Be, and Fidelity. Not High Fidelity, but Fidelity. Istanbul, 2014. Aysel gives shelter to a young political activist who got into a fight with the police. Seems like he has a penchant for person-to-person, not melodrama, but kind of a micro melodrama, like problems or issues, conflict between a small group of people in a concentrated... The more you watch movies, the more you realize that a lot of directors, particularly anyone who would classify themselves as an auteur, they gravitate to projects that have... They're not necessarily the same story, but there's a common thread that rolls through them.
It also says here that he's done several shorts, which is interesting. I wonder what they would be like.
These are... this is the other challenge with doing a podcast about movie and media is just because we're doing a recording doesn't mean that we know everything that's been recorded or we can't possibly absorb it all. I think I said that last time. But for anybody who listens who's like, come on, man. Like you're losing the names of key cast members. Okay, well, a lot of these guys don't do a lot of projects in the US.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's very true.
And there's ellipses over half of the consonants in their name, so I don't know how you pronounce that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you,
I don't even know if ellipses is the right...
I know, that was really good. Sounds very, correct, I don't know.
I just kind of threw that in. What do we have for next week? What are we doing?
We don't have any plan for next week.
We got to come up with
but
that.
I think, we do have to come up with that. We need a movie. We need a blacklist. We could look at a daily's post or email.
We're flip-flopping them, aren't we? Let's see what... you know what? That'd be interesting for right now. Since I already gave you guys the recipe, let's see what... I have to pick the blacklist, right? Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, let's see what was on the blacklist for Actually, we just turned over into a new year, so I don't think we did
Oh, is
everything
there a
for-
blacklist for 2024?
No, because we're in 2024.
Oh,
It'd be one for 2023.
okay.
Let's look. I keep getting this blacklist. The
Oh, you get the TV.
show.
Yeah, you
I
have to
don't
put in
want
like
that.
movie scripts or something.
Okay, hold on. Entertain the people while I look. Give them a interesting anecdote of your
Oh,
life.
entertain.
Here we go. Ooh. 10 titles that stand out this year's blacklist, along with the descriptions culled from the list. Well, let's have a discussion about this. Tell me when you want me to stop.
Okay.
Unnie, written by Lin Q.U.
Mm-hmm.
I'm half tempted to pick that just for the name.
Mm-hmm.
Cutthroat World of K-pop, a group. Have we covered this? The something about K-pop?
Nope, we have not.
Our group debut is threatened when someone begins to violently attack its members. Next one is Bad Boy, written by Travis Braun.
Okay.
A rescue dog suspects his loving new owner is a serial killer.
I've read these before.
Yeah, we didn't do them though, right?
No, we haven't done this. Because that movie I don't like that idea.
This is the part where I have to call out Louisa for being a bit of a buzzkill. She doesn't like slasher or horror movies or anything that's like, it's got some violence to it. She had to close her eyes during the bank robbing scene of Heat. She didn't, but I'm saying she did.
Thank you for the truth. Thank you.
All right. Patsy, written by Philippe Quintino, third script.
About Patsy Cline.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah. Prophet, we talked about that. What's My Age Again by Jackson Kellard.
What is that one about? Did we do that one? That sounds really familiar. I picked that one.
You did. Okay. That's like, we don't have the list of everything that we've ever talked about.
No,
We're trying
we
to
don't.
find one that's Polo, you did that. We got next. True story of how one daring executive beat the odds to launch the longest running league in women's sports, the WNBA, which nobody watches. Don't get mad at me. I didn't make it how it is. But written by Aaron Goldberg, Alex Goldberg, and Michael Goldberg. Somehow I think they're all related. What? We didn't discuss that.
Nope.
Boy falls from sky. An anxious playwright finds himself tangled in a web of deceit, injury, and intellectual property as he adapts his first Broadway musical, Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, inspired by a true story. I think this is a story about how the Spider-Man musical, the Broadway thing, they had all those problems with the guy, Spider-Man, like falling and getting all fucked up and breaking arms and stuff. That guy had so many accidents, they had to write a screenplay about it just to make up the money.
Oh, I'm sure. I remember hearing about that.
They had such problems. Like, man, you got to source your cable from somebody more reliable.
It was awful. I can only imagine.
We talked about The Great Pretender. Tom Hanks, nicest guy in Hollywood. Someone kidnaps him.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Stratford wife, Anne Hathaway, a rebellious woman who, wouldn't that be great if it was played by Anne Hathaway?
Yes, that would be.
We can't do that one because we already cast the main person.
We did.
So forget it. I don't even want to approach that. Let's see if there's any from... We did a bunch of these from this year. We didn't do... Did we do Unnie? Didn't we cast a bunch of...
No, that one doesn't sound familiar. I've looked at that a few times myself, and we've never done that one.
Let's look at 2021 just to see if there's anything out there.
This is what we do. We look at the blacklist from different years and pick a movie to cast. It's kind of fun. Reading these different scripts. Or plots.
I think this one is... Yeah, this isn't... Okay, I may have it from Deadline here. Cauliflower by Daniel Jackson. Under the cruel guidance of a mysterious coach, an ambitious high school wrestler struggles to become state champion. That's why I told you about cauliflower ear.
Oh.
We did talk about this one a little bit.
No, I don't think we've cast this, though.
Okay. Yeah, but we talked. We danced
We've
around
discussed it, yeah.
See How They Run by Lily Hollander. Blind mother moves into a remote farmhouse with a young daughter, but the mystery of the home's previous inhabitants intrudes upon her attempts to repair their relationship. Sounds like a haunted house movie.
It really does. Scary for me.
Yeah, we're doing that. Divorce Party. Patricia Ford feels pretty good about trading her South Boston roots for a perfect life in New York's Upper East Side until everything falls to shit. And I love how falls to shit is in the synopsis. And her raucous girlfriend throw her a divorce party at the home she's about to lose. As the night goes from wild to totally insane, Patricia takes back control of her life. Sounds like Bachelor Party, but for ladies.
It does.
In reverse, like after a divorce. That could be interesting. It'd have to. I'm telling you right now, who I'd cast in it would be what's her name from Bridesmaids?
Melissa McCarthy.
No.
Kristen Wiig.
Wiig, for sure. 100% she should be in this.
She's great. I love her.
Killer Instinct. After a Hollywood assistant is publicly fired for admitting while on a conference call that he'd love to kill his boss, he finds his boss dead in the office the next morning.
I read this plot.
Did we do this?
No, we didn't do this.
Oh, dude, let's do this one.
Okay, let's do that one.
Kill his boss. He finds his boss dead in the office the next morning and goes on the lam to figure out the real culprit, all while being hunted by the boss's assassin. Ooh, that sounds great. Killer Instinct by Lillian Yu. I'm into it.
Okay.
Managers Mark Monier, Clifford Murray, Daniel Rappaport. Producers, Maximum Effort Productions. You know who that is? Ryan Reynolds.
Maximum Effort Productions?
Yeah, Maximum Effort, because that's what Deadpool always says. Maximum Effort!
Oh, okay.
I'll bet this will be funny.
Okay.
Actually, I wonder if Ryan Reynolds would be in this. Well, all right, we won't cast him, but...
Yeah, it would be interesting, yeah.
All right. So we'll refer back to this. Killer Instinct by Lillian Yu.
Is our next blacklist pick.
Yeah. And then have you read any of the dailies recently?
No.
Anything you've watched that we need to...
comment on?
Yeah. Don't tell me no. You watch way more stuff than I do.
Well, since we last did a podcast and since we last talked, no, I really haven't. It was only like one day. And I went to bed without watching anything. So.
God. All right, well, I'll tell you what. As always, this podcast is brought to you by Hey Honey. So we're starting back at Ann Arbor in 4 days. This weekend, Saturday. Be gone for 2 weeks after that, but back in full force at markets starting in May. So until then, heyhoney.biz. If there's anything you want or need, I'll ship it out to you. Let's go watch a movie. Let's go watch something with Larry David insulting somebody.
Okay.
All right. Hugs and kisses, everybody. Toodaloo. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.